Hey, welcome to VBATutorialCode.com. In today's lesson, I'll show you how to work with user forms and how to do advanced charting, how to work with the different buttons in Excel. If you don't have your developer tab enabled, just watch my do loop formula YouTube video, or just go to VBATutorialCode.com and just search for my Project Explorer article or my Visual Basic Editor article or my developer tab article, and all the three of those articles will show you how to enable the developer tab. It's a default Microsoft Excel program that Microsoft built, and it's how you program in Excel with VBA. So I'm just going to go to insert, and I'm just going to create a button over here, and I'm just going to open up the Project Explorer, and I'm going to insert a user form, and here is the user form. You can see it under, it's linked to this object workbook, book 1, which we're in, book 1, and you can see the user form is an object within it. And if you go to view and toolbox, you can see all the different buttons that you could add to a user form, kind of like how we're working with buttons over here. You could insert checkboxes on an Excel sheet, but over here on the user form, you can go to view and toolbox. Oh, wrong button. Toolbox, and you could just add a checkbox over here onto a user form. A user form is, I'm just gonna show you real quick. If you just double click in design mode on this button, let me just show you the difference between design mode and not design mode. Not design mode is you're actually clicking on the button. Design mode, if you double click on it, you can go to the sub procedure link to this actual little button. And I'm just gonna make this execute when I actually click on the button in non-design mode. What it's going to do is it's going to show the user form 1. You can see the name of the user form is over here in the properties window. If you go to view and properties window, you can see the properties associated with whatever object you're currently on. Here's the checkbox within user form 1. Here's user form 1. And I'm just going to close out of this, double click on here. And what I want to happen when I actually click on the command button over here that I added on the workbook, command button 1. Command button 1. I want it to show the userform 1 that is linked to this workbook, and it's going to say userform1.show. That's how you actually get that to happen. So I'm going to exit design mode, and here is me actually clicking on command button 1. It's going to userform1.show, and here is my userform1.show, and here's how you close out of userforms. But yeah, so on your userform, if you go to view and toolbox, you can actually delete user forms too. If you don't like how your user form works, you could just delete it and then go to insert and user form. Here is user form 1. I'm actually going to change this name to user form 2 now. So now it's called user form 2. So now when I click this button over here, nothing's going to happen because it's trying to just show user form 1, which doesn't actually exist anymore. So it's going to be called user form 2 now. And I go to here, and here is user form 1. Actually use form 2. Let's see. Yeah, because I have the caption as user form 1, that's why I just said user form 1. You see how when you change the caption over here in the properties, it actually changes this blue highlight up here in user form 3. That's not the actual name of it though. This is just the caption of it. This is what it says for it. You could say like Brian's awesome program. And the name up here is actually what gets linked to by other programs, so it's still userform2.show. It's not going to open up Brian's awesome program. Here's Brian's awesome program, and it actually just opened up userform2. This is userform2, not Brian's awesome program. That's just what it says at the top. And if you go to the toolbox over here inside your userform2, so a label is kind of just like Brian's awesome program. It's just text that just sits there and doesn't do anything. So I'm just going to write Brian's awesome program again. And it's just like how you could just like put text on your thing. You can write whatever you want, whatever you need to tell people to do. Here's a combo box. Combo box, you could just fill it with a set range of values. And it's kind of like selecting a drop-down box. So I'm just going to show you how to create those values and link them to the combo box before I show you any more controls on the user form. So here's the row source, and I'm just going to name a few categories. Let's say like blue, yellow, black, yellow, black, yellow, black, yellow. Okay. So if you go to Userform 1, and so if you just highlight these range of cells, and up here in the name for these cells, I'm just going to name them VBA Code. And now these set range of values are called VBA Code. If you just click there, it'll just highlight whatever you just highlighted while you named it VBA Code. If you go to formulas over here in the name manager, you can see VBA Code. It's a set block of data that you just named. So there's VBA Code. Just go to developer and view code and Userform 2, and here's your combo box. This is what we were just working with before. If you go to view toolbox, and here's how you create a combo box. I'm just going to create another combo box. Here's combo box 2, here's combo box 1, and you're just going to cut it, and here's combo box 1. So I'm going to link the row source for this to VBA Code, which was the name that we gave to these values over here. I'm just going to close this out, and we're just going to open up here, and so you can fill the combo box with whatever selection you want: blue, yellow, black, blah blah blah. And yeah, so that's kind of how you like fill a combo box with values within it. You just create a combo box. I'm just going to do it from scratch again. So you go to combo box, and you just go over here, and in the properties window, if you go to view and properties window, that's how you get the properties window to show up over here. View and properties window. So you just scroll down the bottom, and the row source, you just want it to be VBA Code. And I'm just going to put VBA Code 1. Just see, that's not actual name manager in the name. It's actually VBA Code. So yeah, I'm just going to go to row source again and just type in VBA Code, because VBA Code 1 is an actual thing. We named it VBA Code, not VBA Code 1, so you can't link to something you didn't create. So yeah, okay, so go to design mode, and I'm going to show you the rest of the buttons. Here is a list box. A list box is kind of like a text box, which is over here. We skipped over the text box. I don't like text boxes, I like list boxes. It's the same thing, you can just fill it with a value. So I'm just going to go over here, and I'm just going to name this the text code, I guess. So you just go to here, Userform, and the row source for this list box is going to be text code. So yeah, it's always going to be whatever this value is over here. So say if you made this value equal to this value plus this value, and say like on the given day, like this value is actually 1 and then this value was 3 for whatever reason, then you'll always see 4 over here. So I guess you can just name this box right here, you could just name this this is what our net income is for the day. So now whenever you just want to see the net income, you just bring this up, and here's net income. Net income happens to be M8 plus N8. So yeah, so now you don't have to actually figure out where you are in the workbook. You could share workbooks with other people, and they'll know like what the value is. And it's kind of difficult to explain certain things to certain people because they don't actually work with the workbook, so they don't know how it's going. Yeah, so if you go to view code and Userform, I'm going to show you the rest of the buttons. So here's a checkbox. You could just add a you could change like the name of the checkbox, or the label alongside of it. This is just text that's alongside of it, so it'd be like, am I cool? And if someone clicks it, then that actually means that you're cool. So I'm going to double click on this checkbox. You could double click on the comma box or double click on here, and you could actually get into the module associated with these buttons on your user form. So here is the sub procedure for checkbox 1. Dot click. Checkbox 1 is this checkbox right here. You can see the name and the properties. So I'm just going to click and double click on it, left click, and now I'm within the checkbox. So say if userform one dot checkbox one dot value equals true, then I want range a1 dot value to equal 1, and otherwise, if it's not checked, then I want range a1 dot value to equal blank. It's not going to have a value there anymore, and that's just going to be it. Yeah, so see here, here's am I cool? Oh shit. If userform one dot checkbox one dot value equals true, then oh dang, I'm not cool right now. Yeah, so if userform one, let's see, where is this stupid thing? If userform one dot checkbox one dot value equals true, range a1 dot value. Oh wait, yeah, that's because it's userform 2. Oh shit, I forgot to change the userform name. Yeah, so duh. Whoops, okay, that's why I was being dumb. Okay, so if you go to I'm cool, you click here and you unclick it. Here's actually what you just wrote, am I cool? If you uncheck it, then you're not cool. If you check it, then you are cool. And you can see in range A1, that's actually changing based on what you click. I click it, I'm cool. Yes, I unclick it, I'm not cool. Yeah, so you go over here to do userform, and the reason why is because this userform, see how it's called userform 2? That's why it wasn't working before, because I had this called userform 1 right here, but it's actually userform 2. So if userform 2, the object checkbox 1, which is this checkbox 1, so here's userform 2, and here's checkbox 1. So if userform 2 dot checkbox 1 dot value equals true, then you want range a1, which is over here, to equal 1. Otherwise, range a1 equals blank. So if it's not checked, if the value of the checkbox 1 isn't checked, which is true, then if it's not checked, then you want it to be blank. Let's just say I want it to be 2 if it's unchecked. So you go over here and you just click here, and am I cool? Yes. And am I cool? No, it's unchecked, it's 2. Yeah, alright, so if you go to userform 2, here's like an option button. I'm just gonna, I guess, link this option button to this checkbox button, so you can kind of like link the two buttons together. But you just click over here. If this is checked, then userform 2 dot option button dot value equals true. Alright, so if you check the am I cool now, it'll actually make this option button check off too. And so here it goes. There we go. It's checked off. That's checked off. So you link the two buttons together. If you go to design mode and userform 2, and I'm just going to close out this toolbox, open it up again, view and toolbox. That's how you get that to go up, open again. Yeah, so here is a command button. You could add command buttons to your user forms. So when other people open up their user forms, they could click this command button over here. This command button actually doesn't have any actions associated with it, so if you click in here, and you can make certain code happen when you click this button. You'd be like, message box, here's how you work with command buttons. So if you just go to command button 1 over here and you just click it, it'll just put the message box you just made it say, here's how you work with command buttons. And all this other stuff is still going on. Am I cool? Yes, I am. Okay. and here's 1, here's 3, and yeah, that's that one over there. So if you go to let's see, scroll button, you can add a scroll bar here, so when this changes, then certain values can change, and you can change like the small change, like however much you want it to change in value over here, and you can just scroll through here, and you can link this to like the chart size in case you need to zoom in or zoom out and stuff. I'll show you that in my charting video. I'm not going to go into that right now. It's a more advanced topic, and I feel like it should have its own video. So if you go to image over here, you can add an image to Userform, and if you, on the properties window, you go to picture, you could click the ellipsis, the dot dot dot, and you go to code, and here is the code, and it's now linked to here. So now you got a cool picture in there, so you could make yourself look cool. You could add like your name to whatever, or like your company's watermark. You could add like whatever you really feel like doing. And yeah, if you go to, that's basically it for the buttons on the Userform. And I'm going to show you a more advanced Userform now. Oh, actually, you know what? I'll show you how to change the color. Here's how you change the color of the background of a Userform. And so now when I go over here, it's black. Okay. And yeah, so you can change like the background, the back color of your Userform in case you want to make it look like more professional or more advanced. You can change the font on a Userform. You could change it to Times New Roman and 16 in case you want it. You could change like the font on, or the back color of your button. So here's the command button 1. I want this button to be there, blah blah blah. You change the font on your command button to be 36, and command button has really big letters now. Yeah, so how actually are Userforms useful? I mean, I guess you can just show a lot of data at once. But yeah, let me just open up a different workbook that I made, and I'll show you like some advanced charting I did with a different workbook with Userforms. And let me just open it up again because I just closed it out. Alright. So here is a advanced Userform that I built, and I kind of filled it with the values over here: Groupon Inc., Expedia. Like based on when this value changes, it links to this list box here, and based on when this value changes in M4, it changes this in here. So whoever's just working with this Userform, they could just scroll through the years, and you see how the years change over here. And when the year changes here, the chart's linked to the year, so it changes the year in the chart too. And the names are linked over here, so when the names are over here, then it changes there. And you actually can see how like I created like an index for all the different companies. So here's Priceline, here's 2010, here's Priceline, 2010, assets 1.8 million, assets 1.8 million, liabilities 476,000, liabilities 476,000. It's actually charted over here too. Assets 1.8 million, liabilities 476,000. And you just scroll through the years and see how the company changes over the years. You actually don't have to click, you can just press up or down on the keyboard in case you don't feel like clicking a lot. And there are a lot of years, like hundreds of years, and you can just see all these companies over like however many years they are, and you could just see how they grow as companies. You could see how they change really fast. I guess if you remember like the combo box I made before with the drop down, you could just kind of just add like a category for industry. You could have financials, banking, blah blah blah. And yeah, you could see like how all these different years change. And if I click over here, I've actually added a print button. And if I go to developer, and here's the Userform 1 show I had before. So go to here and go to print, and if you do me.printForm, you can see that's actually, it'll print whatever is on this Userform right here. So if you go to print, and it goes to print, and you just go to, let's go to VBA Code tutorial lessons, and just name it a PDF. I have it set so it just prints the PDF because I actually don't have my printer set up in my house. But yeah, so it'll just print a PDF, and here is the PDF that just would have gotten printed out on your printer. So if you, in case you need to like run real quick from your office and you just want to print out whatever you're looking at and you need to show something to someone, you can just click print there and it's done. You don't have to worry about setting anything up. You can just link all the printer settings to that. Yeah, if you want to learn a little bit more about how I actually got all these names to change and link together in this exact way, just watch my advanced charting YouTube video. But I was just kind of showing like the functionality of Userforms for right now, and just showing you like how I guess it changes, and I feel like that's enough for now. I added a cancel button over here in case you wanted to close out Userforms just with the command button, and it's called unload me. That's how you close out Userforms with command buttons. You could see here is Expedia Inc. This is Listbox 4. So Listbox 4's source is name, N-A-M-M-E, right here, row source. So if you go up here to our name manager and you just click in N-A-M-M-E and press enter, it'll go to that cell that I designated in the name manager as name, which is right here. So if you go to change chart, you see how we were at like E45. That was what was linked to the name, so that's why that changes. Whenever I click here, it's equal to that name. Thank you for watching VBA tutorial code lesson on Userforms. Watch my other videos if you want to learn more about Excel. Go to VBATutorialCode.com if you want to ask me a question. If you want to ask me to do something, I'll probably do it. And watch my other videos, and thank you for watching.